Okay, so I'm not feeling the greatest, so my voice isn't going to be normal. But I'm going to try and get some videos done today for you. And so your first one is going to be multiplying polynomials and how to do that. So right here, you've got multiplying binomials by polynomials. And sometimes you'll see an area model, okay? So let me just write this out. And we're given b squared plus 7b plus 4 across the top, and b squared plus b squared. No, b cubed plus b squared across the side. And so if you're familiar with Punnett squares and in biology, it's going to be really similar. And I'll show you more than one way of doing this. But essentially what you're trying to do is break down the sections into individual length times width. So you've got area. Area is length times width. So I want to find b squared times b cubed, which is going to be b to the fifth. So when you multiply to to the like bases, you're going to add the powers. So b to the second times b to the third is b to the fifth. And then I just continue to do that for each individual square. So this length is 7b, and then b cubed is still my width. So 7b times b cubed is going to give me 7b to the fourth. Okay, and then the last one is going to be 4 times b cubed, which is 4b cubed. So if there's no b term, you just multiply the coefficients, and in this case, the coefficient on b cubed is 1. And coefficients, just to make sure you understand, coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So right here, when we said b to the fifth, 1 times 1 is 1. B squared times b cubed is b to the fifth, so 1b to the fifth. And then 7b times b cubed. 7 times 1 is 7. And then b times b cubed is b to the fourth. And so we just continue to do this. And once we're finished, we're going to combine all the like terms. So I've got b squared times b squared, which is 1b to the fourth. And then I've got 7b times 1b squared, which is 7b cubed. And then I've got 4 times 1b squared, which is 4b squared. So from here, I just combine like terms. 1b to the fifth doesn't have any like terms, so I'm just going to write it. So b to the fifth plus 7b to the fourth plus 1b to the fourth. If you remember combining like terms, all you do is add the exponents. All you do is add the coefficients and keep the base and the exponents the same. So 7 plus 1 is 8. B to the fourth. Same thing with 7b cubed. So I've got 7b cubed plus 4b cubed is 11b cubed. And then 4b squared has no like terms, so we're just done. And so when you're trying to multiply area, it's kind of helpful to think of it as length times width. It kind of gets your mind in the mindset of multiplying something by something else to find the area. And we found the area to be b to the fifth plus 8b to the fourth plus 11b cubed plus 4b squared. So assuming I did all that correct, yeah, so that's okay. So we got it. And so all these problems would be similar. So you take x squared and multiply it by x in this example and get x cubed here. And then you take x times 2x, which is 2x squared, and you just continue until you've finished the problem and combine like terms. So those are pretty simple. The other one I wanted to show you is this one, which is it just gives you two parentheses. So you've got 3c plus 2, and I'll go ahead and write all this out because I can see that other screen. 3c plus 2 times c squared minus 6c minus 4. So I want to be able to multiply all this out. So I've got 3c times c squared, which is 3c cubed. And then I've got 3c times negative 6c, which is negative 18c. And then I've got 3c times negative 4, which is negative 12c. So what you're using is the distributive property, but you're going to distribute that first term to every other term that you've got and multiply the coefficients and then add the powers. So I made a mistake here. 3c times negative 6c is negative 18c squared. I think I said it, but I didn't write it. And then 3c times negative 4 is negative 12c. So we're good so far. And then once you distributed the first number to every other term, then you're going to take the second number and distribute it to every other term. So if I distribute 2 to every other term, I've got 2c squared, so plus 2c squared. 2 times negative 6 is going to be negative 12c. And then I've got 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8. From here I combine like terms. So I've got 3c cubed comes down. There's nothing else to combine with. And then I've got negative 18c squared plus 2c squared. So negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16c squared. And then I've got negative 12c minus 12c, which is negative 24c. And then minus 8. So assuming I did all that correctly, all I have to do now is type it in. So let's see how I did. Make sure I didn't make any mistakes. So 3c cubed minus 16c to the second minus 24c minus 8. Yeah, so that's good. And we'll do just one more, just to make sure. So I've got b squared plus 4b plus 4 times negative b plus 3. And so you can work it out as is, but an easier way for me is just to distribute these two terms to all of these terms. So I'm gonna actually use the associative property, or the commutative property. I'm gonna swap the two parentheses. So I'm gonna write negative b plus 3 first times b squared plus 4b plus 4. And so that's a legal move. You can swap any two parentheses just like you can swap any two numbers. And then I'm just going to distribute. So negative b distributes to every term. So you've got negative b times b squared is going to be negative b to the third. Negative b times 4b is going to be negative 4b squared. And then negative b times 4 is going to be negative 4b. So I've distributed that negative b to every other term here. So I'm good with those first three. So now I'm going to distribute 3 to every term. So I've got 3, positive 3 times b squared is 3b squared. And then 3 times 4b is going to be 12b. And then 3 times 4 is 12. And what I've done here is I've lined them up so I can combine like terms right off the bat, and that's also something you can do. So negative b cubed has no like term, so I'm just going to bring him down. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1b squared. Negative 4 plus 12 is 8b plus 12. And that's it. That's about it. So that's a good, I think, stopping point. So you're trying to multiply polynomials. I'll assign these. I hope this helps for you to understand exactly what your goal is and some of the problems you'll encounter. So take it easy, and I'm sorry for the voice. I know it's probably annoying.